Okay, I'm just basically waiting for a few more people, but I'm going to get underway anyway. As I said, my name is Mark Perkins, and basically this is the first of many webinars that I will be conducting, certainly every Tuesday evening at 6 o'clock. And these will in turn be recorded and then placed onto our YouTube channel as well. It'll be myself as well as a colleague of mine, both of which of us have several years of experience in the financial markets. So hopefully you can obviously leverage off the experience that we have and obviously impart that knowledge onto you. And when I first sat down for the first time along with my colleague, I said, right, well, you know, there's one tool on our platform that is just so underutilized, and it is such a massive market out there, certainly internationally, that it's just being really underutilized here. I just felt it was totally necessary for people to have an understanding of that tool, and it really is invaluable in taking advantage of the financial markets. Okay, so basically what I'm going to be talking about here is how social media has had an impact on the financial markets, why is it important to traders, what this tool is all about, how to get started with it, and then obviously how to use it effectively as well. All right, so what I thought I'd do is just sort of just give you an understanding, firstly, of some of the big players out there on the social media side of things. You know, just a couple of interesting little facts. I mean, Facebook now has over 1 billion monthly users. 20% of all page views on the web take place on Facebook. You know, and the scary number here is, 3.2 billion separate likes and comments are posted daily. You know, so people love to talk on social media, and I think we all know that, but I don't think we actually quite realize the level of which people are doing this throughout the world. And obviously what is fairly important is how can we utilize this as a trader. Okay, so why do online traders care? You know, the first thing you have to realize, is the solitary world of online foreign exchange trading is emerging from the shadows. And what I mean by that is, with the advent of social media, has given us an opportunity as traders to obviously get in touch with other traders out there and find out from them what exactly they're trading, when they're trading it, and all these sorts of things. And it's just an invaluable tool because, as we know, certainly for traders who are sort of starting off for the first time, it can really be lonely out there. You know, where do I go? What education do I need? And that is why we feel that this is totally invaluable. You know, we want to create a community where we can interact with other traders as well as leverage off what they are trading as well, their trading ideas and that sort of thing. And additionally, I think what you're going to see, as I've mentioned here on the slide, is it's going to go even further than that with live group trading. You're going to see people Skyping with each other and trading all the time. Webinars conducted not only by people like myself, but peer-to-peer trading as well. And sort of just like a classroom, you'll be able to discuss amongst yourselves what is happening out there in the market, any trade ideas. All this really kind of sparks off a great sort of interaction with other traders and obviously then potential trade ideas. Okay, so basically, why should I publish my trades? Number one, traders want to understand what makes a trader successful. They're all looking for a holy grail. They all want to know, right, well, what is that guy trading that makes him so successful, and how is he doing it? And this learning can only be discovered through collaboration via real trades and performance data. So, someone can come and say, right, well, I made 100% on this trade over there, and I'm doing so well on this particular entity over here, but we don't really know. Listen, it's all in black and white when it comes to this social media sort of craze that is taking the world now. Is you can go and analyze that particular guy's profile, see exactly what he's trading, when he's trading, how did he make money with that, and that has become a really powerful tool. Okay, and obviously what you want to ultimately get to is, if online investors do really well in the trade, they want to attract more followers and be ranked higher. Obviously, the better you're doing, the more people you're going to attract, and that's how you're going to interact with clients as well. And in some cases, traders actually pay a subscription to use that service, while the social network and the broker might share revenue on trades. Okay, So that's really ultimately where you wanted to get to, and where we want our social trading to get to as well, is we want traders to be performing so well that we pay them to put out their trades. All right. In a system reminiscent of microblog Twitter, top players who make their trades visible can gather thousands of followers, some of whom pay to copy their strategies. And that's really the way that we sort of see the world going in terms of trading. It certainly is a massive concept over in Europe and the States. And I think we're going to see South Africa start to break into this market now with that Trader24 bringing the service through to South Africans as well. All right, so what I'm here to do here is just talk about our actual social trading facility that we have available to all of our live clients. Okay, and basically it's called Sirix Social Stream. All right, and at this point it's only available to live clients. So for those of you who are still trading on a demo account, get yourself set up with a live account, fund it, then you obviously have access to this exciting new feature. All right, and the first thing that you're going to see here when you actually get onto the web trader platform that we have is the Sirix Social Stream contains roughly the last 100 live trades, pending orders, and any updates by community traders. So if we have a look there on the right-hand side, you'll see there's just a bunch of trades, and if you obviously scroll down that list, you'll see exactly who's recently bought trades or sold the trade, what kind of a percentage return that they get. And as I kind of explained further on, we'll be able to do further analysis on whether the chap who posted that trade, was that a one-off profitable trade, or has he consistently been doing it? Okay. We also list the top 10 traders for the month on the right-hand side there, so you can see one or two chaps. I'm not even going to try to pronounce their names, but as you can see, the P&L has been very, very good for them in the last month. All right. And then also what we do is we basically put a spotlight on a particular trader who's been doing fairly well based on his returns as well as his risk status as well. Very, very easy to sign up to this community. Basically on the social trader tab, you'll basically select join. You're going to choose any nickname of your preference. Choose an avatar, hopefully one that's semi-good looking. And then just basically accept the T's and C's and click join, and you're basically into the community. All right, and obviously once you've got your profile set up, we want to know a little bit about you. Okay, so you can obviously put a picture up there. You can talk a little bit about yourself. And in this example here, this guy, he's been trading for the last 5 years. In the bottom left-hand corner, you can see the people who are watching him and who he is in turn watching. On the right-hand side there, you will see a little chart about just detailing his week's profit and loss. So in this particular example, he was a little bit down for the week, but he was starting to make some form of recovery. Tells you a little bit about his strategy, what sort of various indicators he likes to use, and then in turn we also look at his risk level. Now that's basically detailing to you what kind of risk he is taking on his trades in relation to the size portfolio that he has. Okay, so obviously the higher the risk level, the higher the risk he's taking in relation to his portfolio. So you need to ask yourself, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit further along in the presentation, what type of trader are you? Okay, and what I mean by that is, are you a short-term trader, are you a long-term trader, and what is your appetite for risk? Are you quite risk-averse, or do you like to have a real punt? It really is up to you. And then obviously in turn what you want to do is you want to try to follow someone that is of the same ilk. Someone who is looking to trade the same number of trades, the same length trades, and obviously someone who has the same risk appetite as well. Okay, so once your profile is set up, there's a couple of different tabs. We have our profile tab, our analysis tab, community, and positions. All right, and this for me right here is the most important particular page that I like to look at. All right, so when I'm trying to find a particular client to follow. All right, so firstly I want to know, is he making decent returns? What sort of risk is he doing? And what length of time has he been in the system? You can basically get a client who gets off to an absolute flyer and makes 300% in the first week, and I think, oh, fantastic, that guy must be brilliant. But in reality, I mean, he could be taking severely high risks to actually attain that result. So what I would rather see is try to smooth it out over a longer period of time. So I would rather like to see a chap who's been in the system a year or 2 years or whatever the case may be, and what has his success rate been over a longer period of time rather than a shorter period of time. Okay, and then I would also ascertain what kind of risk level he is doing that at as well. Okay, what his best position was, what his worst position was, and what his maximum drawdown was. And what I mean by that was, how much did he risk of his entire portfolio? Like, what was the maximum loss that he took on his portfolio? So this chap was fairly high, so I'm thinking, oh, I'm not too keen to follow him, or maybe that suits me just fine. So it really is up to you as the trader. Okay. And then down at the bottom there, it's basically got your trading summary. It'll detail all the trades that this particular chap has done on various different instruments. All right. So for example, here we can see that this particular chap has traded the US dollar versus the Canadian dollar roughly 6 times. He's had 5 winning positions, 1 losing position, and his average profit or loss has been 8.45% per trade. And you can see that's between that and the euro dollar, that's what he's trading the most. All right, so if I like someone that's trading those two things, then that makes sense for me to go follow what he's doing. Okay, the community tab, and this is what it's all about. It's obviously building up a community of people who like to follow each other, watch what other people are doing. It really is is a great idea to actually just follow what these guys are doing. You don't necessarily have to go and commit to a trade what he does, but at least what it is doing, it is sparking a thought in your brain. Just to give you an idea. Right? Well, actually, I didn't see that particular trade on euro dollar. This guy's gone and done it. What are my thoughts on it? Well, actually, his trade does make sense to me. I can now go and do it. Or alternative, I think, oh, that guy's talking absolute rubbish. I'm not going to do this trade, and I'm actually going to stop watching him because he just doesn't have a sense for the market at all. All right. Okay, so basically the positions tab is now going to detail what positions you have open, what pending orders you have, what closed positions you have as well. Okay, and just an important thing to mention there is the profit and loss is measured as a percentage of the trade margin that is committed to the market. It is not a percentage return of your overall portfolio. Okay, so that's just something to bear in mind when having a look at these percentage returns. All right. So this chap, in terms of his current open positions, he's taking a bit of a hit on them. But if I'm looking to follow this guy, I'm going to look at his closed positions, and his closed positions all tend to end off in profit. So I'm possibly going to give him a go just to see how he performs. Okay, so the important thing that I want you to do, as I kind of alluded to initially, was how to find a trader that's suited to your investor profile. Okay, basically, when I was fiddling around with this and coming up with the best sort of strategy, it made sense to me to obviously look for someone that's been around a while. He's experienced, he knows what he's doing. He's getting decent returns at a decent risk level. And it's consistent. That is really what we are asking for here. And I thought I would include this down in the bottom left-hand corner there. It says the minimum allocation increments. Okay, and obviously each of you has your account status, either it's standard, premium, or you're a VIP client. Okay, and in terms of the levels at which you can set your particular trades to follow. So as we'll basically say there, the standard account, we can set it at 1 Rand a point. The premium account is set at 20 Rand a point, and the VIP account, the minimum you can have is 100 Rand per point. Okay, so ask yourself, what type of trader am I? And then go and look for someone who's obviously performing how you would like them to perform based on risk. Okay, so how do I go about it? All right. How do I go about manually copying a trade from the social stream? Well, as you can see on the right-hand side there, you almost have that stream coming through live. All right, and you see it on your platform as you're going through it. And if you see this trade come out there with this little copy sign, literally all you would do is click on that copy thing if you like the trade, and then you would go input your parameters. Okay, so in the bottom right-hand corner there, I've taken a screenshot of someone that has a standard account. All right, and we've basically selected that we want to follow what the gold price is doing. And if we have a look there, the smallest amount that we have selected is 0.01. I can input my stop loss and take profit levels. I would select buy, and off we go into the market. All right. Just one thing that you must bear in mind here is you've just literally copied the idea. You haven't copied what that trader is doing in terms of exiting the trade. So you need to be aware of that, and you need to manually close it out via your take profit or stop loss level that you've inputted, or manually click close to close the trade. Okay. Now the final and probably the most exciting thing available to you here is that you can auto copy a client. All right. So what I mean by that is if you decide that you don't just want to watch what a client is doing, you want it to execute an actual live trade on your platform as well. So you've done your research, you've watched this guy for a little while, he's making good returns, he's doing it at a risk appetite that I can handle, then I can copy exactly what this guy is doing. Okay? And the important thing here is that trades are executed in a proportional ratio between the guy who you are following and the free amount of equity allocated by you. So he might go do a really, really big trade, sort of at 100 Rand a point or 200 Rand a point, but in relation to your portfolio, that might be too big a trade for you. Not to worry. You, as I said, you can pre-select the size that you want it to do. So what it will do is it will execute at the same prices that he's done, but it will be at the amount of equity that is relevant to you. All right. Okay, so if we just have a look here, fixed size positions, which is just the second of the two that you can choose. So you can imitate the master's trades with a predetermined fixed lot size on your platform. So this is basically where you would put in the maximum size that you want this trade to trade. Okay, these trades will be closed out automatically once the master closes their trade. All right, so you can leave it sort of on autopilot and let it do its own thing, or if you feel that you want to close it out manually, you can still do that. All right, so that is just important here. In terms of allocate equity to be managed, all right, I think that the minimum equity amount is 1,000 Rand. Okay, so just bear that in mind. Okay. Also, just on the right-hand side, which is fairly important, is the instruments that are selected there. So basically, what that means is, if you're copying someone, those are the particular instruments in which this guy has opportunity to trade on your behalf. All right. Okay, so just to have a little chat about important things to remember. Okay, you need to input your own metrics in copying a trade manually. All right, so we have to close out our trade manually. If we're literally just copying a guy, we need to enter and exit that manually. Okay, you can close out an automated trade on your account prior to the master closing their trade. So if you're not happy with it, you can still close it out. I've said here I would not recommend this for scalping, just because in terms of the way that the system is structured. The master might be trading on a VIP account where you might be trading on a standard account, and their spread actually might be tighter than your spread. So he might be getting a much better entry price than what you would be doing. So I wouldn't recommend that for scalping. What I'm looking to do is I want to get someone who's getting sort of 20 to 30 points minimum in terms of a return, just to make it worth my while here. All right. Obviously, the nice thing you can do here is that apply the lot size best suited to your risk appetite. And just what you got to remember is if you use this in conjunction with your own analysis and trade ideas, it is a great tool. You know, there are various other tools that you can use on our platform, which we will be discussing in next week's webinar. We will be doing platform training on the two platforms that we offer. The one is the Web Trader platform, and the other is our MT4 platform. And we'll be going through the benefits of each of those next week Tuesday, which is 6 o'clock. I just felt in terms of coming up with this particular sort of webinar content and all that sort of thing, I thought, let me sort of first talk about the social aspect of trading, because it really does help beginners who haven't traded before in terms of getting into the market itself. Okay, so they realize that, you know, they still have a lot to learn, but in the meantime, while they're learning, they can still leverage off people that have been trading, you know, trades and trade ideas before, you know, so they can start making profits straight away. All right, and that is pretty much it for today. It really is a short and sweet one, just because I just really wanted to focus on that particular instrument on our platform. As I already said, what we will be doing next week is talking at length a lot more about just how to utilize the platform. Thereafter, I will be getting a lot more specific in terms of different products. So trading various different things, from Forex to commodities to indices, really are going to be getting a lot more specific in those sorts of areas, from a novice through to an intermediate to an expert level. So what we will be doing is we will, and certainly please keep an eye out on your emails for the webinar invitations. And we will be putting these out shortly in terms of a seminar calendar as well. So that is on the to-do list in terms of structuring that on our website as well. But what I am going to do is I'm going to stay online for the next few minutes. If you have any questions, please type it into the questions tab at the bottom there, and I will address them accordingly. Otherwise, thanks very much for listening today, guys, and happy trading. Got a question on the social feed. Are the traders listed there SA-based or globally? It's both. So we've got traders from across the world. So hopefully that answers your question there. Got another question here. What is scalping? Basically, scalping means you're doing several small trades, just to basically looking to get about 2 or 3 or 10 pips at a time. But you know, in that instance, if you obviously combine all those trades, you know, anything from 20 to 100 trades a day, you'll get your returns. Now, I would, as I would say, I wouldn't sort of recommend that for first timers. You would have to be fairly sort of experienced in the market to really get your head around a scalping technique. Tenda, I've got a question from you there. You know, you need to be kind of realistic in terms of the returns that you want to make, per year, per month, per day. You know, if you could just basically sit down and say to yourself, well, what is actually a realistic kind of return? Also, it's very much in relation to the size account as well that you have. So I think, you know, that the number of 27% a day off a fairly small account is a little bit out there. So I would probably rather gear that back a touch, and maybe start off with something as small as maybe making sort of 5% a week, or sort of trying to make 1% a day, just until you feel you know, you're sort of proficient enough in the market to actually have a go and escalate your risk. I've got a question here from Michael. As a beginner, is it best to follow or start your own trend? Just an opinion. Like Michael, as I sort of said, it can really be sort of lonely in terms of getting out there and getting involved in the market. So the nice thing about this is, certainly while you're coming up with your own opinions and strategies, at least you can see, what these guys have been doing, and when they are actually getting into the actual trade itself. Hopefully you'll be able to piece that together as to, having a look at your chart. Why did this guy get in there? Obviously what we're looking to do is create our own community as well, where we have blogs and a sort of a social feed as well, where we can interact with other clients. But for the time being, certainly at least we have access to what these other clients are doing. Got a question here, is it available for binary options? Not at this stage, Sirix. But it is something that I'm looking to push as well. So hopefully we get to that point where we will be able to offer that on binary options as well. Just from Matt there, you're basically going to find the social trading platform on our web trader platform, Matt. If you're used to using MT4, what you would need to do is get onto our Trader24 website, log in with the same details that you use for your MT4 platform in the top right-hand corner, and once you're in, it'll prompt you to access Sirix Web Trader, and that's where you'll find the social trader application. So you basically have the best of both worlds. You can either choose to select to trade off MT4, and quite honestly, that's what I do. I use both, quite frankly, and it's a means to an end on various different tools that I want to achieve. There we go, Michael. Yeah, I use both. Okay, I've got a question there from Patrick. Patrick, I always suggest, starting off with sort of a $5,000 account or smaller. Firstly, structure your trades at R1 a point. So what I mean by that is 0.01, 0.02, something like that. Just until you have an idea, firstly, of the movements that you get in the market on a particular product, and certainly until you have an understanding. Because you might come to me and say, oh, listen, I have an understanding of my risk profile, but really until you actually put your money on the line, you don't really know until you actually start trading yourself. So start small, get an idea for it first. Are there any more questions, guys? Michael, another question there. Any suggested names, on chain to look out for? Well, we obviously give you that the list of the top 10 guys there, Mike. The guys who have been the top performers over the last month. But so once again, I would certainly go through to the little search field there and look for people that obviously, quite honestly, I want to make follow someone who's making high profits. That's number one thing. And then I also want to look around and see how long has this guy been online. So I don't want him to be a one-hit wonder. I want him to actually, be there long enough for me to actually trust enough what he's doing. Got a question there from Mark. Basically, how do social traders get selected? Mark, as soon as you sign up your profile, you are then a trader. You will be in the community itself. You would obviously start trading. If I like what you're doing, I would follow you. Plain and simple. Right, guys, it looks like the questions are waning off a little bit here. So my suggestion is, listen, it's a tool, it's there, it has been successful. I mean, it's been successful for me certainly in the short time that I've been using it. I think of the trades that I have followed, I think I've had results of 80% success rates. So that's certainly something to keep an eye out for. All right, so and basically how I did it was I looked at what the guy's sort of longevity was. I looked at what his max drawdown was, and all those sorts of things. So number one, foremost in my mind is the risk parameters. Got a question here from Patrick. A good question. In that, what else can we trade with Trader24? A multitude of different things, Patrick. And people seem to think of us as just Forex traders. We certainly are not that. We can go out there and trade commodities, so anything from gold to copper to platinum, all these various different things. If you want to go trade, on the indices as well, certainly it's available. So, if you want to trade the FTSE or Dow Jones or S&P, that is certainly out there for you to trade. And I can tell you very much right now that we are certainly very competitive on the rates that we charge as well. Okay, I've got a question there from Yusuf. How does the daily technical levels work in comparison to the social network? They're two very different entities, Yusuf. Number one, the daily technical levels come through from a financial institution that does technical analysis called Trading Central. And basically what you got with the social network is just basically our clients trading and coming up with their trade ideas. It might be as a result of daily technical levels or however else they're coming up with these ideas. Matt, I think the best thing to do there is I'm going to get your account manager to get in touch with you just to help you set up that social trading. I think that way we can devote a little bit more time to you individually. Okay. Guys, just a reminder, I really want you guys to just get into the habit of setting aside some time every Tuesday night at 6 o'clock. We really are going to be talking about some really interesting stuff. Certainly, okay, next week is a little bit more administrative in terms of getting to know the platforms and what tools we offer you and all that sort of thing. But from there on in, I'm going to be talking about stuff that's certainly pertinent to traders out there. So I just want to thank everyone for joining me tonight. Certainly, between myself and my colleague Ricky, we will be talking about some really interesting stuff going forward. So, thank you very, very much. One more quick question there from Erhard. Do you suggest trading in rands or dollars? Purely sort of personal preference, quite frankly. Really, that is. If you have a view that the rand might take a dive, it might be better to trade in dollars. Or conversely, the rand at least gives you a bit more buying power if you're looking to trade at smaller level. So it's once again personal preference, Berat. All right, chaps, but I'm off for the evening, and I will be chatting to you next Tuesday. Thank you very much.